guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Arianne
I'm
and
Chris.
this is Chris. So now we are actually at a different apartment complex we are doing inspections on, but we wanted to talk to you about what happens after closing on an apartment complex. What is the business plan? So the very first thing that happens after we close on one of these 100+ unit apartment complexes is we do a turnover from the old property management company to the new property management company. So from the seller's property management company to the buyer's property management company. So what happens there is there's three main things. We need to transfer the utility information. We don't want our tenants to go without power or water. So we got to make sure that all of the utility information goes from the old property management company to the new one. Next, we also make sure that we communicate with the tenants and make sure that they know who their new property managers are and how they're going to pay rent, who they need to talk to when they have a maintenance request, and things like that. And then number three, we implement the systems and processes that the old property management company has into the new property management company. So that's the very first thing that happens after we close on an apartment complex. Now Chris is going to talk about what happens after.
Yep, so during the financing process, the lender sends out their own inspection team and they'll tag a bunch of stuff on the property. You have to fix the roof and you have to fix the siding and they'll list a whole bunch of stuff and they'll give you a timeline. Usually the health and safety issues have to be completed within the first 30 days. And then the rest of the items, other deferred maintenance kind of items, usually will give 6 months to a year to complete those items. But as new owners of the property, we want to take care of those things as quickly as possible because usually they deteriorate over time and things just end up getting worse. So usually within the first 3 to 6 months of the property, we're focused heavily on those immediate item repairs that the lender has set out for us.
Right, and then after we finish the lender required repairs, then we actually focus on, and after the lender required repairs and the health and safety repairs, then we focus on the business plan capital expenditures. Really all that means is what do we need to do to the property to fulfill our business plan, and really all the business plan usually is improve the net operating income of a property. The way we improve the net operating income is by increasing income and decreasing expenses. So in order to do that, we usually need to improve the property in some way, because why would our tenants pay us more? Usually it's because we're doing something better, right? One of the ways we do things better is by improving their quality of life. Some of the things that end up happening is we upgrade the interiors of the units. So we do an interior renovation, put in some new flooring, update the kitchen, update the bathrooms, update the fixtures, and then that allows tenants to see that, oh, this is a nicer property, this is much better than what I had before, and I might be willing to pay extra rent, and that increases our income. So there's all sorts of different ways that we can spend money to increase income in the property. So that's the interior renovations. We also have exterior renovations. So for example, adding amenities to the property. So for example, the property we are in right now does not have any sort of playground for children, and there are some children here. So tomorrow we're going to ask the property management company and see if the tenants have requested something like that, and maybe how much they think that would add value to the property. We also have a really large area where we could have gym equipment. So that's another, we could turn that into a gym or some sort of mix of gym and clubhouse. So that's another thing we're going to explore and see if it's going to be worth spending money on that capital expenditure to potentially boost the potential income of the property. Now I'm gonna ask Chris what other things we could potentially do to increase the income and or decrease the expenses of the property.
Yeah, so there's actually a lot of things like that. Sorry. Some of those items we can add pet rent, so we are very pet friendly with our apartments, and we're happy to have dogs and cats and things of that nature, but they do add a little damage to the property. And what we do is we charge a pet rent and a non-refundable pet deposit to cover both the costs, the extra damage they cause, and to compensate us for the extra
Wear and
the extra
tear.
value that we're adding to the tenants. So yeah, so that by adding pet rent and pet fees, most even on properties that don't allow pets, pets tend to show up. We just formalize the process so that it's okay, but here are the rules. Other ways we can increase income is by adding a lot of properties don't bill back utilities. It's very easy for us to come and add a ratio utility billing service, RUBS, back to the property, so we can bill back the tenant's water and the tenant's power to the tenant directly to recover some of those expenses. Other items, we sometimes there's covered parking that you can add rent for, or storage space, or laundry income. There's a lot of other income items that we look to find extra value where we can.
Yeah, and it's going to be different from property to property, and that's why earlier I kept saying that we were going to ask the property management company, and we could really survey the tenants later as well to see what they would prefer, because you don't want to add something that people don't want, because that's not going to add value to the property, right? Like if, for example, no one would use a playground, there's no reason for us to spend money on the playground. But if they would prefer a nicer gym, it's actually better to add money to a nicer gym, right? It's all about finding the opportunities and what people want and giving them what they want, and then they're going to give you what you want, which is usually increased income or decreased expenses. So we talked a lot about ways to increase income, and there's so many other ways, right? Like some people will, like Chris said, add features to the property, like covered parking in certain places work really well. Sometimes people do trash valet, and what that means is tenants can leave their trash outside their door and one of the maintenance people picks it up. They can do that for a fee instead of them having to walk to the dumpster. So those are just some of the ways that people implement things to add income to the property. Now, one of the other things that we typically do when we execute a business plan is do an audit of the systems and processes that the property management has implemented. Because most of the times they're pretty good, but like everyone, it's always helpful when someone else can kind of just look after what you're doing and give you that extra support, and that's what we do as the owners, as asset managers, and we provide that to our property management companies. So if there's some way we can make the leasing systems and leasing processes better, so we can find more leads, more qualified leads, find better tenants, or turn units better, lease them faster, have better marketing in the internet. If we can do those things better, it actually makes our property management companies' lives easier and better. And that if we can find the best tenants more quickly, usually that means we get higher rent and we can get more income. What are some other systems that we have that you can think of, Chris? Like maybe maintenance systems or turnover systems.
Yep. So for maintenance, it comes down to the routines. So some properties have roofs that end up with a lot of leaves on them, and if you leave them there, they end up causing problems over time. So even it seems like it might be a waste of time, but getting out ahead of those deferred maintenance items ends up saving you a lot of money over time. Other items are just making it very simple for tenants to make maintenance requests to get our maintenance in there quickly, so that small issues don't become big ones. A small leak doesn't become a full drywall removal. And again, all those little things add up pretty immensely.
Right. So that's a quick overview. I know this was already a pretty long and jam-packed video. We can go over some of the deeper details about some of these things, but hopefully this video showed you what happens from contract to closing. Now we have another video where we went over from how we find the deals all the way through closing these large apartment complex deals. So watch that video up here. We're gonna put it somewhere there or in the description below, so you can find that there. We have a whole playlist about multifamily and also syndications, where you can actually partner with someone else who does all this work of finding deals, managing properties and all that, and you just invest with them passively. So that is on the syndication playlist, and you can watch that up here and also down in the description below. But again, thank you so much guys for watching. Hope you found value out of this. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button and that notification bell so you're the first one of the first people to see when we drop a new video just like this. All right guys, we'll see you next time.
Thank you.